Many people think an AI cartoon starts with the generate button. You press it and magic happens. But if you have ever tried to make not just one beautiful picture, but a real cartoon, you know, the magic usually ends around the second shot. In the first scene, your character has one face. In the second scene, she has another one. First, she has short hair, then long hair. Then she suddenly looks 10 years older, and then she looks like a completely different person. The background also has a life of its own. One moment you have a cozy studio, a second later it becomes an office, then another room, and then random people suddenly appear in the background. Sounds familiar? That is why I don't start an AI cartoon with video generation. I start with preparation. In this video, I will show you how I made my Pixar-style cartoon. From the idea and characters to the final scenes, which I animated in Seedance and edited in CapCut. First, the idea. I didn't want to make just another pretty girl sitting at a laptop. There are already too many videos like that. I needed a small story with conflict. So the main character became Kate. Kate is my cartoon version in Pixar style. Kate sits down at her laptop to create a cartoon. But the first thing that enters to the scene is not an idea. It's Fair. Fair appears as a tiny, dark chibi girl and immediately changes the mood of the scene. Now, it isn't just a video about a girl at a laptop. It's a meeting between a creator and that inner voice that says it won't work. The first step is the main character. Since Kate is based on me, I took my own photo and used it to generate a character in Pixar style. And here is an important thing. If you make a character based on yourself, don't use a random selfie with filters, change lighting and heavy shadows. AI can grab any small detail and then that detail can follow your character from scene to scene. It's better to use a clean photo where the face is clear, the hair is clear, the clothes are easy to understand, and the lighting is simple. I generated several versions of Kate and chose the one where my features stayed the closest. The face, the eyes, the hair, the purple top, and the general look. But choosing one beautiful picture is not enough. Next, I made a character passport. A character passport is needed so Kate doesn't change from scene to scene. So in every shot she stays the same heroine, not a new random girl that AI creates again from zero. For Kate, I made a character tour around. Full body, front view, 3/4 view, side view and back view. This helps AI understand how the character looks from different angles. Then I fixed Kate's description in text. Long hair, purple top, black pants, creative look, bump facial expression and recognizable features. And in every prompt I kept repeating, keep Kate consistent, don't redesign her. Yes, it sounds boring. But without this, AI starts changing the character very quickly. The second step is the Fair character. I didn't need just a monster or a black fluffy ball. I needed a character with personality. Small, annoying, but still cute. I generated several versions of my Fair. A fluffy creator, smoky shadow, glitchy character and a tiny dark chibi girl. In the end, I chose the dark chibi girl. Huge hair, glowing purple eyes, a dark dress, boots. This kind of fear works for the story. It isn't just scary, it has character. And I made a character passport for her too. Front view, 3/4 view, side view and back view. Because if you don't lock the design, in the scene Fear will be a girl, in the another scene it will be a monster, then a cloud, and then a total different creature. One character, one design. You can also make an emotion sheet. This is a separate reference where the character is angry, scared, happy, surprised or mischievous. For a cartoon, this is very important. Then I moved to the script. I wrote the script with ChatGPT. I clearly described the situation. Kate sits at her laptop, cannot come up with an idea, and then a tiny Fia character comes to her. Then we broke the story into scenes: the setup, the Fia appearing, the conflict, Kate's reaction, and the final twist. After the script, I started generating images for each scene. And this is where the most useful part began. Honestly, at first I didn't generate images in advance. I decided to go straight into CapCut and animate scenes there. And I simply wasted almost half of my monthly pro credits. Why? Because everything kept changing. The background changed, the lighting changed, the laptop changed. In one scene it was green, in another was grey. The studio changed. Sometimes random objects appeared. Sometimes AI added new characters that were not supposed to be there at all. So instead of a cartoon, I got a set of beautiful but disconnected scenes. After that, I understood. First, I need keyframes. Keyframes are the main images for each important scene. I generate every important scene as a still image first. Not video, just an image. This way I can check in advance that the frame has the right Kate, the right Fia character, the right studio, the right light, and nothing extra. I generated these shots. Kate at the laptop, Fia appearing, Fia near the laptop, Fia on the keyboard, Kate's reaction, and the final shot. In every prompt I added Kate's passport, the Fia character's passport, and the background description. I also had to fix the background separately, because the location is the second big trap in AI animation. If you don't describe the room clearly, AI will create a new room every time. So I made a separate clean studio reference without a person. It had a white desk, neon green laptop, black Rode microphone, black acoustic foam on the wall, purple walls and dark chair. This became my location passport. And in every prompt I wrote, keep the studio exactly the same. Don't invent a new room. Yes, the prompts become long. But it is better than giving 5 scenes from 5 different universes. Then another problem appeared after generated the images. The frames were correct, but they were all almost the same size. Kate sits at the laptop, then Fia is near the laptop, then again a similar composition. It didn't work as editing. It looked like a slideshow, not a cartoon. So I started making not just different scenes, but different shots. A wide shot of the studio, a close-up of the Kate's eyes, different angles, different accents, different compositions. If all of the frames are the same size, you cannot really fix it later in CapCut. You need to think in advance. There is the wide shot, there is the reaction, where is the detail, there is the close-up, and there is the actions. Only after I had the characters, the location passport, the script and the keyframes, I moved to animation. For each scene, I asked ChatGPT to write a separate prompt to Seedance. Not one huge prompt for the whole cartoon, but one scene at a time. And then I started animating the prepared images with clear ChatGPT prompts. I got almost no bad results. That made me really happy, because Seedance didn't have to invent the character, the room or lighting again. It already had the image. It only had to animate the action. I also want to say something about camera movement. At first, I wrote the same thing everywhere. Cinematic shot, slow pushing, smooth camera movement, and very quickly it became boring. All scenes moved in the same way. Then I started writing camera movement based on the meaning of the shot. So the camera also tells the story. What I liked in CapCut is that voice work is done quite well. You can change the voice for each character set the lines and build the scene pretty quickly. But let's be honest, the tool is still rough. If you expect CapCut to make the whole cartoon from zero and not break anything, you can lose your credit and your patience very fast. So my conclusion is this: CapCut is not a magic wand. It is an editing table. It's better to come there prepared, with characters, keyframes, and clear script. After all the scenes were generated, they already had movement, sounds, music, and pretty good voiceover. That was a big plus. All I had to do was put everything together in CapCut, build the rhythm, cut the extra parts, add pauses, and make the story feel complete. So, in short, my workflow was first the idea, then the characters, then the kids' character's passport, then the fear character's passport, then emotion reference, then the script, then the location passport, then keyframes for each scene, then different shot sizes and angles, then prompts for Seedance, then scene animation, and only after that, editing in CapCut. AI make a beautiful picture, but a stable story needs a system. And now, before I show you the result, support me with a subscription. It really helps the channel and motivates me to make more videos like this. Alright, let's watch the final cartoon.
I need an idea.
It won't work. Everyone already did this.
You're the character. Okay, maybe it will work.